Okay, so drawing on the right side of the brain, assignment one, is kind of a crazy one. What you're asked to do is to draw somebody that you know from memory. This means you can't look at a picture of them. You have to go by just what you can envision in your mind when you close your eyes and you try to call up a picture of this person. You got to rely on your memory. You've got to rely on the images that are stored in your mind. So I'm going to try to draw a picture today of someone that just about all of you know. If you're a freshman, you might not have met him yet, but you will. I'm going to try to do a picture of your principal, Mr. Muhammad. I haven't seen the guy in 6 months, so I'm going to have to go by my memory as to what I remembered at the time. I'm going to try to use some of the same techniques that we did in the videos yesterday. I'm just going to specifically center in on that idea of the two circles forming the shape of the face and then shaping the face up from there. So I'm going to start with my first circle. And if you remember in the video yesterday, got to go really light because eventually I'm going to want to get rid of this. I can't draw a perfect circle on the first time through, it's okay. And you remember that this is divided into 4 parts. I'm just going to go out and draw some really light lines here and divide my circle into 4 equal sections. And I've got this line that runs down the center as well. So I got a whole bunch of lines all over my paper, but we're looking okay. And then there was a second circle that kind of sat below this first one. And it was a little smaller. It started here, came out. So there's my starting point. That can be the starting point for any person's face. And there were a whole bunch of different areas here that I knew that I could kind of use, that I could line things up with, right? I knew that this middle point line here was actually the eyes. So I'm going to try to make sure that my eyes sit right on this line. I know that my nose is going to be right at the bottom of this curve. But now I've got to think. Now I've got to think about the person that I know. What do their eyes look like? What do their nose look like? What are the distinguishing features? What kind of hair do they have? Do they have facial hair? Different things that stand out about people. And I'm going to see if I can do it. And I'll talk as I do it to try to keep things going. So I don't think Mr. Muhammad has particularly large eyes. It's not like he's got little squinty eyes, but he doesn't have super big expressive eyes unless he's getting really excited or animated about something. So I'm going to make sure that when I draw his eyes, I don't try to blow them up too large. And I'll put his eyebrows up above here. His eyebrows are straight. They're not overly bushy, if I can remember correctly. They kind of sit above his eyes like that. Now his nose, again, nothing really too stand out about it. I don't think he has a particularly large nose. I feel like it might be a little bit on the round side. We'll get down to the mouth area. I think this is where I can get in some stuff that might be a little bit more expressive of who he is. I can line those corners of the mouth up, maybe kind of with the centers of the eyes. I always kind of remember him as having a little bit of a mustache. And I think he's got a bit of a beard on his chin, kind of like a little goatee. So maybe I'll have to get the rest of his head going here. Come down into that chin area. And maybe like right down here on his chin, I can put a little bit more of the hair to kind of look like a bit of a goatee growing in. I feel like he's got kind of a boxy chin like that. Maybe some cheekbones. Not sure. I'm not seeing them yet. I'm going to go with it though. Alright, so I remember from the video that ears are kind of like even with the eyes and they go on down towards the mouth area. They're just kind of like a little loop like that. I don't like that line. I'm going to erase it. And I'll bring his neck down from here. I always kind of envision him wearing a shirt and a tie, even though I think he wears coreless gear probably even more often than a shirt and a tie. So I'll just do a collar. I'll just kind of add the little knot for a tie. Bring his shoulders out like that. Alright, now I got to get into his hair. The last time I saw him, he had a fresh haircut, so his hair was pretty low on the sides. He had a fresh lining. And his hair kind of sat across the top of his head like this. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of fill it. I'm making a video actually for my students. Did you want to say hi to my students? Go ahead, say hi.
Hi.
This is my 6-year-old Evan. He came in to check out our video today. I'm gonna try to fill in this hair a little bit. And I'm just going to try to get it right across the top of his head. I want to keep his lining pretty straight. Like I said, the last time I saw him, he had a fresh haircut.
Look who you're drawing.
This is our principal, Principal Muhammad.
I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Because when you did Zoom meetings, when I was in kindergarten, I saw him after I was done.
You saw me talking to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I feel like maybe those eyes are still a little too wide. I can try to trim that up a little bit, but I think I'm getting toward the end of where my memory gives out. I'm going to get rid of some of these extra guidelines here.
Like future.
He looks young. I bet he'd like this picture. Brush some of this away. So there is my first drawing, a drawing of a person that I know from memory.
Wait, I know another thing you could do. You could shade the pencil on his face.
I could do a little shading, couldn't I? Right?
Yeah.
That might actually look good, right? Just a little bit of a shadow?
Yeah.
Maybe a little shadow under his eyes?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That looks good.
That looks good?